There was a lot of info to process at Microsoft's event yesterday, from 3 phones to a new Surface to a new Microsoft Band, more info on the HoloLens, and even a surprise laptop, which is Microsoft's first ever. While I was there, I managed to ask as many questions about the new tech as possible, and even grab some photos and videos of the new tech for your viewing pleasure. So without much further ado, here's the most important tech that was announced yesterday at the event, and all of the details on each. Let's start with the HoloLens. If you aren't familiar, the HoloLens is Microsoft's foray into the virtual reality realm. But it's not quite virtual reality as you'd expect. Instead of a screen inside the glasses that make you feel like you're somewhere else, Microsoft's lenses are clear, and they instead put other objects into your world. During the event, we were given a demonstration with a guy on stage playing a game where robots came through the actual walls of the set on stage, and he shot at them, trying to defend the stage from them. But of course, the concept behind this isn't just for games, and you can use it for a ton of different unique ways. But for more info on the HoloLens and those ways that Microsoft wants you to use it, you can click the link below. It's actually a pretty cool concept, and since none of us got to try it at the event, I'm not sure how well it really works, but it's impressive nonetheless. What I do know, though, is that a developer kit for the device will be available in the first quarter of 2016, and you can pre-order that starting now for $3,000. As someone who owned the first Microsoft Band for a while, I was happy when Microsoft announced that there was a new version going to be released. Not much has actually changed in this new release, but they did add a new sensor, which brings the total number of sensors to 11, a barometer, to add the ability to measure elevation, and a new feature to add the ability to measure VO2 max, which is something that super serious athletes use, but us common folk just won't really. The last thing about the Band is that they finally changed the material. Instead of the rigid design from before, often being jokingly referred to as the handcuff, for good reason, they made it out of a flexible material that just feels far less jailbird-like. The Band is up for pre-order on the Microsoft Store website right now for $249, and it'll ship by October 3rd. For more info on it, click below. Next up, the 3 new Lumia phones that were announced. The 950 XL and the 950 are the 2 new flagships. Essentially, Microsoft made one flagship in 2 different sizes for you to choose from. Aside from the processor, the screen size, and the battery size, and the price, of course, both are almost identical. For the similarities first, they both have a liquid cooling system to increase performance, a 2.5K resolution OLED display, 20 megapixel rear-facing camera, and 5 megapixel front-facing one, dedicated camera buttons, which I still don't understand why all phones don't have that, 32 gigs of internal storage, a micro SD card slot, USB-C charging ports with quick charge that allow you to charge halfway in just 30 minutes. Both have cameras on the front which are capable of using Windows Hello, the tech used to unlock the device with your face. Both also now run full-blown Windows 10. Now that might seem a little confusing, but essentially Microsoft has done what I've been telling everyone they should do for years, and that's they made their OS adapt to whatever device it's on. So there's just one Windows 10. On a phone, it looks like Windows Phone that you're used to, but you, using a dock that you buy from Microsoft, can then plug it into a monitor, a keyboard, and a mouse, and it'll look like a full-blown Windows 10 desktop that you're used to. They call this feature Continuum, and even Xbox is going to be running a version of Windows 10 as well. I won't get into why this is really cool in this video, but for now, think of it as a neat feature. Your phone is also a portable USB PC. As for the differences in the phones, the 950 XL has an octa-core Qualcomm processor, 8 cores, while the 950 has a hexa-core, 6 cores. The XL has a 5.7-inch screen, the 950 a 5.2. The XL has a 3340 milliamp battery, and the 950 a 3000 milliamp. The XL is $649, and the 950 is $549 unlocked and without a contract. Neither have a shipping date just yet, and you can't pre-order them. But you can bet it'll be in stores or on sale in November sometime at the latest, thanks to the holidays being right after that. The last phone that was launched probably isn't meant for the US market too much, but it's a budget-friendly Lumia 550. It'll have a 4.7-inch 1080p display, a quad-core Qualcomm processor, a 5 megapixel camera on the back, 2 megapixel on the front, LTE, 8 gigs of internal memory with a micro SD card slot, and a 2100 milliamp battery. And it'll retail for just $139 without a contract and unlocked, which is really cheap. And it should be able to still use that continuum feature, although they didn't really point that out, but I think it should. I'd imagine and hope. And you can get more info on all of these phones by clicking the link below. Next, we have the Surface Pro 4, the latest iteration of the Surface Pro family. It has a 12.3-inch 2,736 pixel by 1,824 pixel display, up from the 12-inch screen from last year, but still has the same width and height thanks to smaller bezels around the screen. You can get it with either an Intel M, i5, or i7 processor with 4, 8, or 16 gigs of RAM. Solid-state storage options are 128, 256, 512, or even a 1 terabyte drive. 9 hours of battery life is what they say, an 8 megapixel rear camera with a 5 megapixel front-facing camera, and a new keyboard that has spaced out keys, a larger glass trackpad, which I'm happy about, backlit keys, which is another great addition, and it also will work with the Pro 3 as well as the Pro 4. The new pen also has some new features. It's got 1,024 points of pressure detection compared to the 200 and something the old one had. And it has swappable tips, so you can say have a ballpoint tip and a pencil tip and so on, which is kind of a neat concept. There's also a new docking station that's sold separately for $200 that can be used with the Pro 3, Pro 4, or the Surface Book, which we'll get to next. That dock can output to 2 4K displays, has an Ethernet port, and 4 USB 3.0 ports. The Pro 4 is available for pre-order now, starting at $899 and going all the way up to $2699, as in $2,699, depending on how much you kit it out. It'll ship and be in stores hopefully around October 26th. Finally, we have the surprise that Microsoft dropped on us at the end of the event, the Surface Book. This is Microsoft's first ever laptop built by them, and I got to play with it for a little bit, and I have to say, the design itself is pretty nice. All right? It feels, dare I say, sort of MacBookish, with like a metal body and that kind of stuff. Again though, we'll see if I can actually get one to use and see what it's really like. The specs aren't too shabby either though. It's got a 13.5 inch 3000 by 2000 touchscreen display, either an i5 or i7 processor with an NVIDIA GeForce GPU, depending on the version, 8 or 16 gigs of GDDR5 RAM, the same storage options as the Pro 4, 12 hours of battery life, a backlit spaced keyboard with touchpad, and it can also detach from the keyboard with the push of a button. The button is so that when it's locked in, it still feels like a real laptop and you can't accidentally separate them, I imagine. Microsoft is touting this as ounce for ounce the fastest 13-inch laptop. The laptop is available for pre-order now, starting at $1499 for the lowest version and $2699 for the all decked out one. And it'll also ship supposedly by October 26th. And that's it, all the major things that were announced. And I don't know about you guys, but I left that event with a feeling that I haven't been able to associate with Microsoft for quite a while. I left excited. Hey guys, I hope you enjoyed that video, and if you did, please thumbs up it or share it. It's greatly appreciated. And if you want more videos like this, please subscribe to the YouTube channel or follow me on social networks at The Unlocker or D Kogan. And as always, thanks for watching.